Hello, people. This is Love, and today we're talking about a fragrance that is extremely appropriate for right now, the super high heat situations that we have. So, what fragrance is it? It's Fico di Amalfi by Acqua di Parma. So, this house in general, if you've never seen, it comes in like a little box like that, and and yeah, I try not to show too much like bottles. Like now I did like twice in a row, but it won't be like a standard thing to do. But I thought the bottles were like super simple but very efficient. The cap is really nice, clicks into place, and you can see like if you can see like the gradient a little. I actually used a lot of that fragrance over the time I've owned it, and I do recommend it. It's a great fragrance. It's an entry into more niche perfumery, but it's still very easy to wear, and it's still um, a like super good like day to day fragrance. It works super well, and it's cheap. It's very cheap. Okay, so you can mostly find these. I think like I'm not really good with prices because I bought it years ago, but I'm pretty sure you can easily find this for like around 40 $50 US. But anyway, this is a great fragrance. Why is it such a great fragrance? Well, all the line that is called Blue Mediterraneo is centered around summer fragrances when you go to the Mediterranean Sea. So they are classic Italian style perfumery, um, made for the outdoors during the super high heat. They all have kind of a eau de cologne type vibe to them, but they're like longer lasting, and they're yeah, they last a bit longer. They're a bit more dense, so it's not like an eau de cologne. It's not like totally an eau de cologne, but they have like this kind of a like citrusy, fresh, fruity vibe to them that gives off that eau de cologne type scent. So this one, Fico de Amalfi, is a fragrance that is centered around a fig accord. So they try to replicate the scent of fig with using different chemicals to get like this kind of a fig note, fig accord, if you might call it like that way. Because there's no, you cannot like just take fig and extract the scent from fig. So it's just a fig accord. So anyway, does it work well? Fig is probably my favorite fruit overall. I really love fig. Like I like to have it with maybe like feta cheese and olive oil and stuff like that. But it's an like pretty solid fruit overall for tons of different things, and very easy to just eat it by itself. It's a good fruit overall, but uh, is that like does this smell reminiscent of fig? I think it's there's two parts to that answer. It is not only about the fig. It is a citrusy kind of a vibe also. It has this fruity creaminess that you can associate with fig. So I do think that like when I smell it, I'm like, I it's reminiscent of fig. It's a lot sweeter than actual fig, but it's reminiscent, and there's like citruses around that, and there's like this kind of yeah, kind of an aromatic backbone to it. The dry down is really superb. It retains the creaminess and the kind of fruity sweetness, but with all the with still like the freshness that started with the fragrance. Of course, some of the citruses, like the volatile top notes, will kind of disappear, but they still remain. Like there's some presence a bitterness, like a tartness, also that goes throughout the fragrance. I think it's a fantastic fragrance. I'm wearing it today. I can't stop wearing it during the summer. I like to cycle my fragrance a lot, and this one I'm always like, I might make an exception and just wear this one a lot of times in a row. Uh, it's extremely easy to pull off. Okay, so I don't think that no one will ever really think it's bad, or it's like it's an obvious compliment getter. Okay, so because it's such a like a sweet and approachable scent, but it has this kind of a traditional Italian cologne vibe that gets it like an elegance to it, like a certain classiness that I think is even more like easy to appreciate than a lot of the fresher scents out there. So I think that people like really really like that fragrance. It's super easy to spray a lot. I can do 10 sprays of that thing. It's gonna last all day if I do that, but it because if you don't spray a lot, the it's not the heaviest projecting fragrance. It's not the like the best for a lot of the projection and longevity side of things, but it's yeah, if you spray enough and if you spray back after a couple of hours, you'll be fine. I'm also like, yeah, I said that in my previous video about Dolce& and Gabbana light blue, and I think that the best way to enjoy like those summer fresh fragrances are to enjoy them during the day, and when nighttime comes, you can always spray something else, You can always get yourself like a heavier fragrance for the evening. So I think that it works. Those fragrances are super fresh and they're really easy to layer. So even if like you still smell the dry down pretty heavily, if you spray something else on it, it's just gonna add a little, like a tiny bit of freshness and of sweetness to another existing fragrance. I know that during the summer I really like to do something like Fico di Amalfi or Dolce Gabbana light blue or even Dolce Gabbana K, and at some point I spray on ombre leather, so it's very dry. It's a dry fragrance, and it's kind of more in line with winter time, So, but it works. There's this little bit of added sweetness to it that just makes it work even more during the summer. And I also think that ombre leather is like a summer evening banger. It's so good. So I think that overall, yeah, it's a great fragrance to get for the summer. It's an easy way to get into niche fragrances without having to pay super high prices. And you can spray it back, and when the bottle is over, you'll be like, okay, shall I buy another one? Or should I just try to move on and try to find something that's even like more expensive, more niche, that I'm gonna like better? But I guarantee you, there's not many fresher summer type fragrances on the market that does a job that's as good as this in any niche fragrances that are worth a lot of money. So I would caution you, if you don't fall in love with a fragrance, just don't. Like if you don't fall in love with like a super expensive niche, but you're like, oh, but it's probably better, right? Because it costs a lot more. Well, no, it's not. What's better is what smells the best for you, and Fico di Amalfi smells amazing. And does it have like the best projection and stuff? Not necessarily. It does project, although I might say it does project because it's very volatile. It's definitely made for like an outside kind of a scenario most of the time. Um, if I was to wear it inside, I think I would spray a bit less and spray a bit more on clothing. But anyway, everyone has his tricks. I think that yeah, it's not because it's not like a super expensive fragrance that it's not gonna do the job well. And you can check out the whole line. There's also the Colonia line from Acqua di Parma. Like they have a lot of things. They have also like darker fragrances. If you want to like just wear that, you could wear something like a Blue Mediterraneo for like a and then their darker collection, they have like oud and leather and stuff like that, and they're super nice fragrances, inexpensive, and they get you through some harsher notes, and they get you like a very nice evening classy fragrance that is in an Italian style. So yeah, just check out this brand. It's amazing, and you could do like combos. They don't last that long, so you can just take one during the day, and then you get your black bottle during the night, and you just spray on, and you have an evening scent, and there you go, you have like everything you want. You can also layer them. They're pretty simple scents, so they're easy to like wrap your head around, like layering them. You can try different combinations, and it's gonna work. So like eventually you're gonna find combinations that work. So that being said, spread love and spray love. Bye bye.